I'm a 17-year-old A-level student and I've recently finished my A-levels. I'm planning to go to university in September to study history and politics. When speaking about institutional racism and unconscious bias, a basic understanding of how it looks, tastes, and feels for young Black people in our society is fundamental. For me, it's instantly being put into the bottom sets at secondary school and having to work my way up. It's starting my first weekend job and having to endure older colleagues making comments about my appearance. It's failing interviews or being overlooked for jobs I am overqualified to do. It's experiencing these injustices before you turn 18, before you turn 16. Structural inequality and racism mean that no matter how well you do in life, it's still made explicit to you that you do not have the agency to define your own identity or success. My message today is that young Black people are not a monolithic group. That is to say that we cannot adopt a one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to making workplace environments more accessible and more enjoyable for young Black people. Not every young Black person will have the same needs, aspirations, background, or even outlook on life. But something which I strongly believe remains true and is universal regardless of age, ethnicity, or gender is that we all have standards. We all expect to be treated with respect, with fairness, and to be regarded in the same way as those around us. However, the report shows that young Black people are facing barriers even before they enter the workplace, and more concerningly, these barriers seem to continue when they enter as they find it harder to settle into their environments. If I look to the phrase, giving people a seat at the table, I am reminded of the re-emergence of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2020, after the death of George Floyd. Many companies and organizations plan to make an active effort to place young Black people at the forefront of their inclusivity promises. In essence, they gave young Black people a seat at the table to advise them on how to improve their services and take on significant roles. But often, these seats were not the same height, they didn't have the same cushions, and ultimately weren't as comfortable as the other seats of those around. I say this to say that society acts as though these so-called seats are a lifeline for young Black people. We are encouraged to feel grateful for something which should have already been in place. Regardless of whether we have a seat or not, we still aren't heard, respected, or given the same opportunities as our white counterparts. We still have a limited chance to flourish in an environment which ultimately is safe for us. That is why I believe that reports such as these are so significant, as they expose the realities of what we face and how we feel. I find it hard to believe that in 2021, with the existence of this report, we can still turn a blind eye to the inequalities faced by young Black people. We have spoken, and all that's left is for our voices to be heard and action to be taken. There is no better time for change. Today, I am representing a small fraction of the frustration young Black people feel due to the little change there has been. But I also address you all with great optimism that this report and the work of many others will act as a catalyst and form the basis of meaningful change.